Elbc Radio. We'd like to humbly welcome you to the program Economic Hour this morning. Please stay with us. We'll be back. Okay, we'd like to welcome you again to Economic Hour. This is a regular program that comes on the station every Tuesday, sponsored by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and we bring on the platform experts in different sectors of our country from both the private and the public sectors. And of course, to discuss about the economic policy of our country, to discuss about the economy. Of course, no country survives without a built-up economy. So that's why we bring these people to discuss as to how to go about to contributing to the growth of the economy of Liberia. So today on the platform, I have with me three distinguished personalities in presence of Gala Toto. He's the National Program Coordinator, World Bank projects at the Ministry of that's the Ministry of Agriculture, and Dr. G. Moses Zulu. He's the Crop Development Specialist, Rural Economic Transformation Project (RETRAP), and Alpha Theophilus Bar, the Project Agronomist at Star Project. They've all come here this morning to discuss their respective roles as it relates to the good of our economy. So let me welcome my guest this morning. Good morning, Mr. Tutu. How you doing this morning? Please come closer to the mic. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
How are you doing?
We're doing fine.
Okay, let me hear from you. Dr. Zulu.
Good morning, Melvin, and good morning to the listening public out there, especially our farmers. We are glad to be here.
Sabah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Melvin. Thanks for having us. Good morning, Liberia, and the listening audience.
Okay, wonderful having you guys, you people on the program this morning. First, let me start with Mr. Gala Toto. You are the National Program Coordinator for the World Bank projects at the Ministry of Agriculture. Just give us a synopsis as to how your work is like.
Okay, thank you, Melvin, and thank you for the opportunity again. And the last time we were here, and we gave some information regarding the activities of the projects. So, and basically the work have to do with and working with different actors in the agriculture sector and coordinating the team to support, the farming population, making sure that the required resources, that the investment that should go to the farmers, they receive it, the systems, the procedures, the policy to ensure that farmers have access to the required resources to help them with different productive activities. So specifically is a lot, but I provide that leadership and with the support of the minister and the government to ensure that we work with all the stakeholders that they can have access to the required resources to help farmers with the production or processing or marketing activity they are involved with. So it's a big portfolio, and I'm happy to have work with and large experts of different backgrounds and everybody pulling in their resources to ensure that we
getting the needed support.
Yes, the support to transforming the sector as we are doing now.
That's good. Let me hear from Dr. Zulu. You come from the crop development specialist. What kind of attachment do you have with the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of building the sector?
Thank you. So, like Mr. Toto mentioned, he is the National Program Coordinator for the World Bank and funded projects at the Ministry of Agriculture. And one of the projects there is the Rural Economic Transformation Project.
Yeah, the RETRAP.
Yes, the RETRAP. I serve as the agronomist for that project. So we provide extension and advisory services to our farmers in the different counties. We train farmers. We give them support in different forms, and we also bring about knowledge sharing and information management. So as part of that, there are a couple of things that we do under the Retrap project. So as we go further, I will try to talk more about some of our activities.
That would be good if you just start to name some, I mean, to talk
So
about some of them before we get to
the Rural
Mr.
Economic
Ba.
Transformation Project is a $55 million project. It is in the value chain of cassava, rubber, poultry, piggery, and it's in the 15 counties of Liberia. The project targets about 60,000 beneficiaries and smallholder farmers, and it has 5 different components. Those components are very important, and as we discuss them, the first one is improving the enabling environment for agribusiness development. What that does is that the different institutions, state and non-state institutions that are involved with agriculture in Liberia, the project supports them so that they can be strengthened and help our farmers in the different counties. Aside from that, we have the second component that deals with enhancing competitiveness and market access through productive alliance. So there are different people in the different sectors. And what the project is doing is that the $55 million, there is $30 million just committed to road construction, the road from Tapeta going towards Zvedru. The $25 million is meant for farmers to be able to apply and get that funding and improve their different businesses. And then we have the next component, which is support to food security. In Liberia, we need to increase the amount of food that is produced. And besides that, there are different community infrastructures that need strengthening and need support. Besides that, as global warming and other activities are setting in, there's a need for also strengthening early warning systems in the country. So, as part of that, the project component 5, which supports food security, is geared towards ensuring that those different areas I talk about food production and rural community infrastructure and early warning systems are strengthened in the country. The project development objective, which deals with market access of smallholder farmer, is also helping us to make sure that we support the farmers in different form and manner. So let me stop here
Yeah.
and allow my colleague to be able to talk more about the other project.
Mr. Ba is the project agronomist. You work with a rural, the same organization, right? You are the agronomist. Tell us your role you play there.
Thank you, Melvin. So, as the project agronomist for the STAR project is the Smallholder Agriculture Transformation and Agribusiness Revitalization Project. It is also one of the World Bank funded projects at the Ministry of Agriculture that is uh, managed by the National Program Coordinator, Mr. Galatoto here. STAR P is jointly funded by the World Bank and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. So my role as project economist is similar to that of Dr. Zolu's at Retrap. Uh, I work with farmers. I provide them technical support, provide them guidance, learn from them, inspire them. Basically, just provide them whatever support they need to ensure that we achieve the project development objectives. And the project development objective for STAR P is to increase productivity and commercialization for smallholder farmers in selected value chains across Liberia. The basic difference between STAR P and Retrap is the value chains. So for STAR P, we are focused on the value chains of rice, oil palm, and horticulture. Those are
What do you mean by horticulture?
fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So, like Dr. Zolu described earlier, the projects seek to address specific gaps in production and marketing of products across Liberia. Agriculture, there are several different dimensions to agriculture and food security. The production is probably the primary one, where the food is made available. But then there is also the distribution systems, where you get the food from where it is produced to where it is required for consumption. So these projects are seeking to strengthen all of the linkages along that value chain that ensures that sufficient food is produced and distributed across the country. So the project supports every actor across the value chain. Producers, basically, those are our farmers,
Okay. We're
transporters
talking about across the country.
across the 15 counties of Liberia. Transporters, those are those people who will move the materials, the food from one place to another. People who do processing, like people who will transform cassava into gari or into flour. Those who will transform fruits into fruit juices. So we support processors, and we even support those who are marketing the products to ensure that the systems are enhanced to make food available across our country.
That's good. Mr. Toto, what is the project? What is this project intended for? The Liberian people are eager to know.
Okay, thank you, Melvin. And I'm smiling because Theo is laying it right, and Dr. Zulu also lay right. So, how now are we implementing this project? So we have big portion of the activities that we call the matching grant. That is the news all over the country. The matching grant is that funds that different actors or farmers, producers, aggregators are applying for. And when they apply for that grant, they receive it. And now, so let me give you some specific. And up to date, we have had about 90 plus businesses, according to they are now, even if they are producer, they are now, we made them to be a formal business. So 90 plus businesses have access to about $7.1 million US
From
across the country.
okay.
So these businesses are in rice, oil palm. Some are doing rubber, some are doing vegetables, so some are doing poultry, and the rest of it. So the good news is that before you will hear news, the agricultural sector is quiet, nothing happening, and there are nothing people seeing, but now it's not a story anymore. People have received the grants through an established sector, like our minister called it, and it was a mandate from the president that this money be established. This fund, they call it Liberia Agricultural Commercialization Fund, be established that farmer can have access to.
Who's providing the funding?
This fund comes from both the World Bank and IFA, but managed by the
IFA.
government of Liberia through the Agricultural Ministry. So, and that fund is the vehicle for all the farmers who will qualify to benefit. Whether you want to build your warehouse, some are building warehouses, some are improving their business environment, some are also you will hear some of them will call. They will tell you how some of them are packaging and now they are able to. So some are exporting, some are also doing business by themselves. And that was the whole intent of this. When you talk about the value chain, I want to spend some more time on the value chain. The value chain that we talk about is a product going through different transformatory stages and identifying all of the actors along the line. And we call it chain because if one is broken, that means no longer a chain. For example, in the production system, you need the input suppliers, you need the producers, you need the transporters, you need the person that having warehouse, you need somebody who will also say, okay, I'm just here to sell, for example, the rice. Somebody say, I just take it from you and sell. They call it a retailer before it gets to the person that want to consume it. So along the chain, everything should be moving. When it's done, then and that's what we call the value chain. So when we say we are developing the value chain, and actually you can see it and from the way people are running. I gave you some examples all over the place, and people put in for machines to process palm oil.
Basically, Mr. Tutu, how many people, how many farmers have been able to feel your impact as an institution?
Okay, so for like I said, we have 90 plus enterprises, agricultural enterprises, and I have received up to $7.7 million and in the margin grant. The margin grant is the the fund provides 70%, the person who receiving provide 30%. So that two money meet and then we have also another component of our activity. There are some farmers who are at the low end
At a low level.
and they are not qualified for this grant. We call it the FBOs.
What do you do for them?
We gave them what we call incentives.
How much in the tune of what?
In the tune of seeds
Okay.
and fertilizers. So that we want them
You gave them implements as well?
Yes, we want them to come up to that level where their capacity is built, then they can qualify for the margin grant. And we also they didn't stop there. And our technicians are there providing training for them because we want them to, if you are FBOs, you can come to the level of cooperative. You can come to a level that you can register your business. Because our goal is we want to bring most of these group from the informal sector. Informal sector, you're not paying taxes, you're not recognized, you can access other amenities that you also have as a farming group. So we want you to come to the formal sector by being registered, by paying your taxes, and at the end of the day, when big benefit come, it comes to those of you who are in the formal sector. So that's one of the things we have tried to do on this, minister and the project. So it is more of her vision with and showing that agribusiness are ready developed. Agribusiness because we want a business aspect. We want for farming or agricultural groups to be strong that apart from this grant, they can gravitate to the commercial bank and place in their document and be able to get loan. So it's a whole big transformation effort, that we are trying to get to. So if you hear the millions name, it's not millions that just wasting on the ground. They are actually
it's not something that just drop in the ocean.
They are actually transforming the sector, and the news are out there.
Okay, Mr. Toto, we will come back to you. Let me get to that. Zulu, he spoke about his area where he talked about cassava, the rural farmers, and that of those involved into poultry, right?
Yes.
And now, how do you go about getting these people in these three different areas? I'm talking about the cassava farmers, the rural farmers, and that of the poultry people. How do you go about getting them on board?
So the project has a criteria for selection of different farmers in the different categories. Like Mr. Toto mentioned, as part of our support, we provide huge support to farmers who are into businesses and agri entrepreneurs, and those are the ones that benefit from our machine grant. So the machine grant, the money is there, they compete for it, they apply for
You
it.
spoke about 55 million.
So yes, so the retract project is
It's 55
million.
55 million.
And I said 30 million of that money is directed towards the road from Tapeta towards Zwedru. And the 25 million is the one that is going to our farmers.
Why did you target just Tapeta to Zwedru Road?
So, the corridor between Tapeta towards Zwedru and Maryland and other is being worked on by this president. Dr. George Manenwia mentioned that as part of his priority is to make sure that roads are improved in the country. So under his administration, we are seeing that that money is directed towards improving that road so that farmers can have easy access to the market and be able to move freely and sell their produce. So that's why the $30 million is geared towards that, because bulk of the farmers are also from that direction. So the $25 million that is geared towards improving the agriculture sector. Farmers they apply, through the machine grant scheme. And as part of that, we have the FBO not FBO, the cooperatives who are benefiting. We have SMEs, and we have the bigger businesses. Some are building their factories. Some are building and production centers. Some are applying for the grant and building processing facilities. We are providing and trucks to some of them to be able to bring the produce from one end to another to the market. So we are also supporting people in the poultry sector who are just producing eggs. For instance, we have the Passion Farm in Bond
Bone
County
count. That's
that is supported, and the egg that is being produced can feed Lofa, Bong, Nima, and some can even be sent towards the southeastern counties. We have different production centers that the project is supporting. Then we have the FBOs. Those are farmers that are unable to compete for the
talking about the
market
farmer-based
organization.
organizations.
Yes, they are unable to compete for the machine grant. So what we are doing, we're providing implements to them, agricultural machinery to them. We are giving them improved seeds. We're giving them fertilizer and training them how to use them so that their production can be increased. With this support in the different counties, we are seeing gradual increase in the different value chains.
Now, you talk about the 25 million just for farmers and the 30 million for the rural construction from Zredju to Grange or something like that. Uh, are farmers cooperating in terms of what you gave them, the 25 million you gave them, in terms of supporting them? Are they cooperating? Do you go after them to ensure that, yes, they are utilizing what you provided them? Because this money is coming from a particular donor, and the donor will need a follow-up. Will need you to provide those necessary information as it relates to how these monies are being expanded.
Yeah, that's why we don't just provide them the resources and leave them done. We train them. We make sure that we do follow up. We work with them to make sure that what they've requested and is done, and we make sure that their production is also done fully so that they can be increased in the amount of food in the market.
Mm. Okay, good. Let me hear from the agronomist, Mr. Ba. You talk about training of some of the some of those involved in this particular sector. How do you go about with the training? Is it in base training or outside?
Okay, so basically what we're doing now is exchange of knowledge. Uh, we just had a session with some farmers a few days ago in Kolkata, and I was asking them like how many farmers here have not received any form of training since they started their farming.
So now,
operations.
Mr. Ba, what sort of training do you provide them?
Right. So we're basically most farmers already have knowledge. Right. Some farmers are even more
To
knowledgeable.
plant cassava? To plant what, rubber?
Most farmers are already more knowledgeable about planting cassava, planting rice, planting vegetables than even I, the agronomist. So what we do is we create this platform where we can exchange knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Where other farmers have deficiencies, they can learn from other farmers who know better, right? Of course, we are also promoting, like Dr. Zulu said, climate smart technologies. We live in this age of global warming,
Yeah,
climate
climate
change,
change.
where concerns are about preserving the environment, mitigating the impacts of climate change on us. So we try to promote some climate smart technologies, promote some farming practices that our farmers, if they adopt, they could sustainably manage their area of land. In Liberia, our production practices have been borderline harmful to the environment, especially when it comes to things like rice production, where our farmers in the upland will clear one area of land this year, grow the rice. Next year, they move to another area, clear it. So we're trying to teach them some sustainable way where they can continuously manage that same area
That
of
same
land
spot.
and still be able to get good return on their
How
investments.
possible can that be after the yield has been dissolved by the first farming season?
So there are sustainable agricultural practices that we promote. There are conservation agricultural practices. There is intercropping. There's sequential cropping. There's use of leguminous crops. So I could go into the technicalities of it, but there are these techniques, simple techniques that we're promoting in the low, encouraging our rice farmers to use the lowlands more than the upland, because in the lowland you have a good deposit of nutrients. You can sustainably manage it for a long period of time. You can even have 2-3 rice crops coming from that lowland in a year. But I just wanted to say this. Dr. Zulu mentioned the retrap budget envelope.
Yeah, 55 million.
Yeah, for the STAR project is 48 million.
48. So all of you are dealing with millions. Huge amount.
well, I think it's all thanks to the government of Liberia that was able to mobilize these resources from our development partners. But the funds, like the NPC said earlier, and like Dr. Zulu emphasized, is actually meant to transform our agriculture sector. And these funds that have been expended to date, you can already see some transformation happening. We have several people, several businesses that have received the grants, and they're already doing a lot. We've got, for example, a processor in Bomi County, a rural community development enterprise, who had been using what we refer to in Liberia as the freedom mill. There is this oil palm processing equipment that you hold, and you have to keep turning all day, all around the place just to get the oil out of it, right? Through the support from the matching grant, this person was able to get a mechanized oil palm processor that doesn't require any manual labor anymore. And he's able to get almost 10 times the output of oil from that processing facility than he used to when he was using his freedom mill. We also have other processors who are taking the Liberian fruits and transforming them into juices, like Evergreen Enterprises, which is one of our beneficiaries. Now they've even gone beyond making juices. They are now making powder juices that you just take a powder, a sachet of powder, and put it into your cold water, and you got a juice to drink. They are now making tea. They're now drying fruits that you can store, you can export. You can now see more and more Liberian produce on our shelves. And it's through this kind of support that we're generating the level of transformation that's resulting in that. So you might hear the money, but it's not so much about the money, but it is what we're able to achieve as a result of the funds that have been spent.
But do you see a lot of encouragement from the end of those that you train on a daily basis? Because motivation matters a lot.
Oh yes. If you interact with the farmers, in fact, when we spoke to some of our farmers prior to coming on this show and say, well, we're going to be on the LBS and discussing the project, one of them insisted that take me along. I want to come and say something and actually talk about the impact that the project.
I hope that person will call.
And we're hoping that if you open the line, some of them can call in. But you can actually see the changes. Farmers are encouraged. Farmers are adapting, like Dr. Zulu said, improved technology, using higher yielding crop varieties. We have one of our farmers who just recently brought in a pepper variety that is providing output of pepper that's almost twice what our regular pepper varieties will put out. So this is the kind of transformation that we're hoping to achieve as a result of the project.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Toto, let me hear from you as to how are the recruitments done. How do the people apply? If I'm a farmer, I come from Bone County, I like to mention Bong because I'm from there. I'm from Sanoye, and I came from Sanoye. I want to apply for such. I want to apply for a grant from from your organization, from the institution. How do I go about?
Okay, before I come to that question, when they were speaking, I jotted something on. You asked a question about how are people? How do we? And how we are sure that people are actually using the money for the intended purpose.
Yeah.
We have a monitoring system in place, and we have a county structure in place. The Ministry of Agriculture and have a decentralized structure across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge team of people on the ground in the counties, and showing that if you are from Bong County, you apply for the grant, or you have access to any of the resources that are coming to you. The county structure are aware.
Yeah.
People go to your farm or your site from time to time.
I mean, you're talking about site visitation?
Yeah, site visitation, and also
it doesn't matter the size of the farm?
Yeah, because once you have benefited. We want to see what you're doing with it. We don't just turn our back, and we have weekly or periodic,
Visits.
and reports
Okay.
coming on these sites. So that's how we know that things are, properly monitored. Then we also did something I wanted to also bring to your attention is that, and we wanted to be sure of the people who benefit, especially from the level of the FBOs, the 60,000 farmers, 10,000 farmers. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Identification Registry, where they want for all our farmers to have a biometric identification. So we signed a memorandum of understanding. We made sure that all of them who have benefited, up to 10,000 of those farmers, have had the biometric registration with the ID card. So that is good for us, to ensure that people can be identified at the village level, and they can also, we thinking that at that with that same registry, they can be able to have access to mobile money and all the kind of stuff. So we wanted to emphasize that we doing this thing to ensure that there is system of accountability, that there are no ghost
Yeah.
farmers and people are
We're just using the money for nothing.
Yes. So, and coming to the question about how do you access the grant, the county structure is there. Farmers are aware. There were public show on the radio since 2021, and people have been applying across the place. And once it's a simple business plan.
You mean the farmers who work through their district agriculture offices,
Yes,
and that of the county agriculture offices?
Yes, the district agriculture officers. They will have another focal group called the county focal people, or the county facilitators. They are all based at the county, based in the district. They work as a team to ensure that potential applicants or farmer or processor have access to that business plan. They help them. We also hire, we call them business service provider. They are also based at the county. Those business service provider provide support to the different group of applicants to help them develop that business plan, and then submit the business plan now to us through the Elbc, and it goes through their step until approval before they benefit from the grant. It's not a cumbersome process. Like my minister would say, if you want to get a loan from the bank, there are steps, there are process. So it's the same with us. And the testimony is that, like, what is rating? $7.1 million have gone out already. Farmers and groups have benefited from that. So it tells you that the system is working.
Do you still need more of that, or you feel satisfied with the $7.1 million?
No, it's like,
because there are more farmers that want to come aboard.
For us, it is not the more, it's about the quality of the quality of the work that's being done. We want sustainable businesses. We want businesses that will be strong, and after benefiting from the matching grant, they can go to seek higher opportunities that will make them more stronger. We're not just throwing money at people then, and they just, after the money finished, then everything drops. No, this is why we're making sure that, and we're saying now that we even put out a solicitation, specify specific areas, because the agriculture sector needs total transformation, and we need serious farmers, serious actors to ensure that this transformation is happening.
Are there some unserious farmers?
Of course, you will not say that all farmers are trying. All farmers are trying, but all may not be at the same level. So at the end of the day, we just want to continue to working with them to ensure that we get we call them the champions, the champions that we can work with. For example, if you're having a big farmer like in Lofa, we have 2 big mills, and those 2 big mills in Lofa, if they are already producing and to capacity, do you know that all these small rest farms will be actively producing? So And that's why we're saying that we identify champions across the country who understand the business of agriculture. Other smaller ones will say, oh, yes, I can be like him, I can be like them. So that is the reason why we are not saying whether they are serious or not serious, but I think some are trying to learn and some are trying to understand that this whole agriculture thing is not just free thing. It's about investment, resources, government resources, and government have to transform this sector. And if you want to be part of this sector, to transform it, and these are the things you need to do. And so that if you hear Dr. Zulu and and Mr. Ba trying to lay out the different programs, the different intervention, these are the things we are doing on the ground to ensure that the sector is actually transformed through the support. And then let me also say this: this effort of the World Bank project it's not the only Ministry of Agriculture program. There are other Ministry of Agriculture programs that are supporting a bigger picture. For example, the minister launched an offensive rice production activities across 3 counties, Lofa, Nima, and Bong, but with other activities happening across the country. The purpose of this was to ensure that if you look at majority of this RP and the retrap project, we are talking about rice. Why rice? Because the minister
is a staple food.
Yeah, minister feels that, and the government feels that at this time we need to get rice right. So we have engaged and over 10,000 hectares across Lofa, Nima, and Bong. And
specifically,
yes,
those areas in Bong, where?
Bong we have, and Bong we have like we have across the district. I know about Fuama district, the Bomans area, and Panta district, and Swakoko district.
Okay.
That's
around Kari.
The Patawi area.
Okay.
And so in Lofa, of course, if you're familiar with the landscape in Lofa, we have the Foya landscape there, we have the Kolahun, the Voncheman, the Kwanaboni. Those are areas of massive rice production. Nima, of course, and you have the Bedi.
Okay, Bedding. I've been to Bedding.
And other surrounding lowland development activities around it. So it's a big effort from the World Bank, the Agri Development Bank, and other donors are also supporting this effort. The minister's plan is to scale this rice production intervention up to 20,000 hectares. And we're saying to you this morning that with this intervention, rice will be sweeping all across our villages because it's massive. We know the investment have gone into it.
So meaning we will not go hungry.
I won't say that, but
is this a policy statement by you, Mr. Toto?
That policy statement backed by my minister that we want to ensure that rice is surplus because it is being done. I can tell you, currently, rice is being done across the country, especially for the lowland rice. And lowland rice, why? Tio and Dr. Zulu will tell you why lowland rice.
Okay, let me cross over to them. So yeah, Dr. Zulu, do you have any addition to what Mr. Toto just said?
Yeah. So thank you. Mr. Toto has actually talked about most of our different interventions in the different counties. But let me also tell you that with the improved seeds and planting materials we are providing to our different farmers, they are going to double their yield, and the improved materials we are giving them is meant to make sure that the way they used to produce, they leave from that gradually to another level. So for instance, the different type of cassava varieties we are giving to the farmers right now, they are able to get up to 60 metric tons per hectare. That is going to make sure and to increase their income. And what is happening now, the cassava sector is booming because of the different support we are giving to the different businesses, agribusinesses. Now they can process the gari into different forms. Not only process it, they are also transporting and shipping it out of the country. This is a boost for us, an economic gain for us, is bringing money into the country. And what is going to happen? The lives of the farmers will gradually start to improve. So, like he's saying, the poultry sector, the piggery sector, there are different gains being made, and all of those gains are being made so that Liberia can be self-sufficient. At least we can start to eat what we grow here, grow what we eat, and make sure that our country is full secure.
Mr. Ba?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Dr. Zolu talks about cassava, so I would like to talk a little more about the rice.
The rubber?
No,
Or
I
okay,
would
the
like to talk
rice.
about rice because for Star P, rice is one of our primary areas of focus. And for Liberia, rice is literally everything. But the national program coordinator laid the basis. So let's take LOFA, for example. The project has been providing a lot of support to business enterprises. In LOFA, he mentioned two mills. One of them is in Vonjama, the other is in Foya. Those two mills together have the capacity of about 48 metric tons of rice in a day, right? One of them does about 32, the other does about 16 metric tons. Now, when we say a metric ton, we're talking about 20 of this 50 kg bag of rice. We're talking about 20 of it.
20 of it.
Yeah. If we're talking about the smaller bags of rice, that's about 40 of
40.
it, right? So one of those mills does about 20 times 16 of those 50 kg bags of rice in a day, right? So if you have such a mill operating in a county like Lofa, which we know is referred to as the bread basket when it comes to rice production. Now that mill requires that amount of rice every day. You have to have farmers produce that amount of rice. And these are some of the reasons why, like the NPC mentioned, the minister actually promoted the initiative called the Emergency Rice Production Offensive. Offensive because she wants it to happen
to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if we have these mills, which the project has supported these enterprises to get operational, we need to have rice to keep these mills running. And once we have these mills running every day for at least 5 days a week, we're going to have rice on the market always. So that if you're living in Lofa, you don't necessarily need to get rice from Monrovia to consume, because the rice that is being produced and processed by these mills is the same quality of rice that we're importing. It is parboiled. It is free of foreign materials like stones. It is clean. It is fresh because it's just been harvested. So you can eat it and get the same nutritional benefits like you will get from the rice that we're importing. So we're supporting these initiatives to ensure that our farmers and our population have ready access to food across the country. Now we can achieve the goal of food security that we've been talking about over the years, and Liberia can become less reliant on our food import from other countries.
Okay, well, listeners, if you just joined us, you're listening to Economic Hour here on Elbc Radio 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. My guest this morning on the program include Mr. Galatoto. He's the National Program Coordinator of the World Bank Projects, Ministry of Agriculture. Dr. G. Moses Zulu. He's the crop development specialist at the Rural Economic Transformation Project, RETRAP, and that of Mr. Theophilus Ba. He's the project agronomist at STAR Project, just call it short STAR P, or under the Ministry of Agriculture. They are my guest this morning. I guess you are out there and you want to form part of this discussion. The numbers to be a part are 080514096, 080514096, or 077850147. This is an alternative number, 0778501947. Let's talk to this very first caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Isaac Mbwana. I'll call you from the virtual community.
Let's hear you this morning, Isaac.
I'm so much grateful to guests in studio that discussing Liberia, the facts of Liberia so far. I want to tell you thank you so much. But there's something that I did not explain, and I really want clarity in it. I was small at the time during the Chancellor administration, where all those farmers used to get together, showcase their products, and then there's a kind of game of competition that will come from county to county. I don't know whether they have those programs. And two, the government should make sure that every minister in this country should have their own farm to include lawmakers. When these things are happening, our country will be self-sufficient. And I want to know if they have those kind of programs.
Okay, thank you so much. 0880-514-096, 0778-501947. Good morning.
0778-501947.
No. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, excuse me, sir. Please leave from the radio.
Sorry for the interference.
Go ahead, Chief.
Fine. This is Puso Yakbazo from the National Career Movement. I'm again explicitly happy to be part of this program, and I would like to firstly appreciate Dr. Suru, Mr. Toto, and Mr. VAR, who are running impressive program in this country. I have been thinking one way out of track of their activities, and that is the sustainability program of these institutions or projects that they have. One, I understood from their lectures that they have two mills in Lofa. One is in Fontima, I guess owned by one Selma, and the other one is in Foya, owned by one Kamara. And these mills, I saw them, and I know they're highly impressive. I have questions about the feeders in the supply chain in order to sustainably provide rice to these mills immediately after the exit of their projects.
Okay.
Two, the next point is, I'm very sorry. I know that the time
just go ahead quickly, Chief. Others are on the line.
Okay, yeah. We have the cooperative sector. And under the cooperative sector, there are two major institutions that should be working along with these institutions, especially these mills, to be able to these projects to be able to find sustainable exit strategy. We have the credit union movement. We as a cooperative financial institution helping cooperatives to be able to be sustainable after the exit of the project. That is lacking. I guess Dr. Tito don't know what is a credit union and whether they are working with a cooperative. Dr. Zulu, no, Safa, I don't think they know about it, but I guess they know and they need to read about it.
Okay.
But the credit union is in this country and they have no connection to these projects. I guess they have funding. I know some of the, when they were working on these projects, we want to be part of the process where we were like, wait on. Everything was like CDA, yes. But we have institutions where established that need to be helping to create exit strategy, financial exit strategy to these projects.
Thank you, Chief. I think you've made some points. Others want to participate. We don't have much time. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Amadou Bilete. I call from Elbc Junction.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Let me say thank you to Soto, Dr. Sulu, and the rest of the studio guys. I think we push for the political will to have the project implemented. Because I have worked in the agriculture sector before. I used to have some little work with Asian World Vision. The waiting era is a very good era to work in. I also work in Cleveland and other places. But what we need to do is to also get the politicians involved. The fact that they can get these people to support them, they can also get these people to see reason to work and make Liberia self-sufficient in food production. Again, let me say thank you and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, let me take this person, then I will go to the guest to just address the two concerns. Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Please go ahead.
So my name is Robson Khalid from Evergreen Enterprise Trading, a proud beneficiary of the Music Agricultural World Bank Star P project. And I just want to use the medium to extend my thanks and appreciation. The intervention of the ministry was very, very, very important, and it was timely. Today, I can say to you, through that intervention on the Star P project, we've moved to our newly constructed factory on the SKD Boulevard, and in the next few weeks to be launching 4 new products in the market. It's all because of the Star P. And I can say to all our brands, the process is competitive, the process is detailed, there's no favoritism, no one has to know you. You just have to go there and follow the procedure and apply and demonstrate your business viability and how you can transition the agricultural sector into a finished product. Also, I want to say to the team in studio, thank you very much for your support, your intervention. All of the equipment on your project that we requested has been purchased, and they are arriving country. And see you in the end of the month when we invite you to the official launch of our product that we promise we're going to be launched in September.
Thank you. I can take two more and get to my guest at 9. We have a politician in here already. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
Yeah, this is Sam Gadwalk calling from Virginia, Monrovia.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to give a little contribution regarding the importation of rice in this country. With the explanation that is given is okay, but I want to advise on another thing. If every country should have this government fund, and then we bring the technical people, the Ministry of Agriculture and bring the technical people from that of India, because most of the rice on the market, they are Indian rice. If they can bring those technical people to work along with our government for some time and make our farmers to know the in and out of it, and then after some time we start producing the rice that will be consumed by other international people. It will help boost our agriculture economy.
Okay, thank you. We don't have time. 9 o'clock sharp on the dot is the appearance of Councillor Tiawan Gongolo here. He's a presidential candidate. Let me hear quickly from my guest this morning as we wrap up. Mr. Toto, you heard some of the concerns, just two concerns at a minute out of you. Could just address them quickly and give a party comments, please?
Okay, thank you, Melvin. So, the first one, somebody talked about agriculture fair, where farmers showcase they produce at the end of the year. I think that's a program of the Ministry of Agriculture that are always happening. So I think the ministry got a plan for that kind of activities. At the project level, we can only support based on and what the ministry wants at the time.
Okay.
So, and the aspect that has to do with the credit union, yes, we have the Cooperative Development Agency as our key partner on the project, one of our partners. So we work with cooperatives. We are concerned about the cooperatives and financial sustainability. That is why they are also competing for the grant, and they are also being trained as part of the people that should have the financial capacity to manage the resources. So, to have another relationship, the project is a very big project. We are open to establishing relationship with all of the actors in the sector. And one of the things that we want to talk about is that, and in the matching grant have financial service as part of what the thing you can apply for. So we have financial institutions, are there I think this recent approval, 2 financial institutions got approved to receive the grant. So, and hopefully, and more financial institutions around the country that can be qualified to provide this support to the farmer. So,
Mr. Toto, quick, finally, your party comments before I get to Dr. Zulu and Mr. Ba.
So to close, I just want to say thank you first for the opportunity. Thank you to our Minister Jenny Cooper, and then the President of the Popular Bureau for the enabling environment, the support, the endorsement for the opportunity for our farmers. And it is always good to come here to provide information to our farmers, and we'll keep engaging the population to ensure that the right information are out there, and these resources are for the Liberian people, and the Liberian people must benefit from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toto. Dr. Zulu, finally.
Thank you, Melvin, for hosting us on this show. I just like to say that we have 2,400 cassava farmers who receive inputs from us. We are monitoring them. 1,900 portrait and piggery farmers who we are supporting to make sure that there's egg on the market, and 400 rubber farmers who have received improved rubber clones, GT1, and other clones to make sure that their yield is increased in the country. Thank you.
Mr. Ba.
Thank you, Melvin. And thanks to the listening public and the people who called in. You've heard, the project is here for Liberians, for Liberian farmers and actors in the sector. So we like to encourage Liberians, like you heard from Mr. Sonkale, who called in the process is free, fair, and transparent. So please take advantage of this, help to contribute to improving the sector. We are specifically interested in people who have operations in key thematic areas. We're interested in people who are doing seed multiplication, people who are doing feed formulation for livestock. We're interested in people who are doing organic fertilizer production, solar irrigation systems, solar dryer, basically climate smart technologies like greenhouses, post-harvest management systems. So bring these kind of applications, bring these kind of proposals, and together let's transform the Liberian agriculture sector for the better. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming this morning, sir. Mr. Gala Tutu, Dr. Zulu, and Mr. Ba. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Well, they are personalities from the Ministry of Agriculture from different programs. Galatoto, the National Program Coordinator, the World Bank Projects at the Ministry of Agriculture. Dr. G. Moses Zulu, he's a Crop Development Specialist at the Rural Economic Transformation Project, RETRAP, and Mr. Theophilus Ba, the Project Agronomist at Star Peace. The main guest on Economic Hour. Join us as on next Tuesday for another presentation of this program. My name is Melvin Stewart. I leave the scene right now with Saba Josh. He's going to